Moments like this are exactly why I love NASCAR. One minute, we're watching what should be a feel-good story unfold on the track, and the next minute, there's a comment, a reaction, and suddenly fans everywhere are trying to figure out what really happened. That's what makes this sport so fascinating. It's not just about who crosses the finish line first. It's about personalities, emotions, pride, competition, and sometimes the things that get said after the checkered flag falls. And after what happened in San Diego, there's no question that something from the post-race celebration has people talking. What should have been a straightforward victory celebration turned into one of the most discussed moments of the weekend. And depending on how you look at it, it may tell us a lot about the mindset inside one of NASCAR's most competitive organizations right now. The interesting part is that nobody seems completely sure how the comment was intended, but the way it was received has definitely caught the attention of fans across the garage. We're going to break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it could mean moving forward. But before we get into all of that, if you enjoy honest NASCAR conversations from passionate fans who live and breathe this sport every week, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. The channel is still new, and we're working toward our goal of 15,000 subscribers. Music. If you want to be part of this community from the very beginning, we'd love to have you here. Let's talk about what really happened in San Diego. So once the race was over and the emotions started settling in, the spotlight naturally shifted toward Heim. And honestly, it should have. At just 23 years old, Heim delivered the biggest victory of his NASCAR Cup Series career by winning in San Diego and leading a huge one to finish 4-3 XI Racing. For a young driver trying to establish himself at the highest level of stock car racing, this was exactly the kind of breakthrough moment that can completely change the trajectory of a career. What made the win even more impressive was who he had to hold off. Bubba Wallace was charging hard in the closing laps. The pressure was intense. Wallace looked capable of making a move late, but Heim stayed composed, protected the lead, and crossed the finish line first. It was the kind of performance that showed maturity, confidence, and the ability to handle pressure against one of the most experienced drivers in the organization. That should have been the entire story. Instead, a brief conversation after the race became one of the biggest talking points coming out of San Diego. According to Heim, Wallace approached him after both drivers climbed from their cars. At first, everything seemed completely normal. Wallace congratulated him, shook his hand, and acknowledged the accomplishment. Then came the comment that stuck with Heim. Wallace reportedly told him, "Congrats, enjoy this one. They don't come around too often." Now, depending on who you ask, that sentence can be interpreted in very different ways. Some fans might hear that and think it's simply a veteran driver reminding a younger teammate how difficult it is to win at the Cup Series level. And to be fair, there is some truth in that. Winning races in NASCAR's top division is incredibly difficult. Many talented drivers spend years chasing victories and never get one. But that's not how Heim initially received it. When speaking with reporters after the race, Heim admitted that the comment immediately caught his attention. He said that in the moment, he interpreted it almost as if Wallace was suggesting that this might be his only opportunity to win, or that he wasn't fully proven at the Cup level yet. And honestly, you can understand why a young driver might feel that way. Imagine spending your entire life working toward this moment. You finally get your first Cup Series victory. The emotions are running high. You've just accomplished something every racer dreams about. Then one of your teammates says something that could be interpreted as questioning whether you'll ever do it again. Even if that wasn't the intention, it's easy to see why it stayed in Heim's mind. What stood out to me was how mature Heim handled the situation. He didn't attack Wallace. He didn't create drama. He didn't accuse anyone of disrespecting him. In fact, he made it very clear that he respects Bubba Wallace and recognizes everything Wallace has accomplished to earn his place in the Cup Series. Heim was also honest. He admitted the comment bothered him. He admitted he thought about it. And frankly, that's probably what most people would have done. What I found especially interesting was what Heim said afterward. Rather than turning it into a public feud, he basically used it as fuel. He talked about how people will always have opinions. Some will believe you belong, others will think you don't.